Okay, so here we have our story, the virtual rainforest. Alright, so what do you think the story's going to be about? So the virtual rainforest. So what's a rainforest first of all? So a rainforest is an area of land where tropical animals would live and tropical plants. So would you find a rainforest in Ireland? So you'd find rain, you'd find a forest, but would you find a rainforest in Ireland? No, you wouldn't. So rainforests are mainly for hot countries. So that'd be like Africa or India or those kind of countries, anywhere in Asia. Hot countries that, like when it rains a lot, so they're humid, right? So it rains a lot, but it's very muggy and sticky in the air, right? So it's not a nice feeling, all right? So it's not like here when it gets warm here where it's nice and hot. There it's very heavy, all right? So there's a lot of moisture in the air and it's very heavy. So that's what rainforests are. They're areas of land where they're very heavily forested, but because it rains so much, loads of different plant life and animal life can grow. And because of the temperature as well, it's ideal temperatures for them to grow, so they grow exponentially, so very fast, right? So it wouldn't be like Ireland. Ireland is quite slow because we have a lot of rain, but we don't have a lot of heat, right? And we know that plants need heat, light, and water to grow, right? So the virtual rainforest. So in the attic, Alfredo switched on the computer, sat down, and typed some words into the search engine. Alfredo read from the screen. This is a strategy game. To play, you will become eco-tourists. You will visit a village in the Ecuadorian Amazon to learn about rainforest conservation. Then you will have to decide whether preserving the rainforest is good for the village or not. Alfredo turned to his grandson Marco. Are you game? He asked, chuckling. Soon it seemed to Marco that he wasn't in the attic at all. Instead of the attic walls, he seemed to see trees and vines. The air felt steamy, warm and damp at the same time. And the noise! What were those screeches, yowls, hoots and whistles? Marco looked up to find that the attic was gone. In its place was a little jetty on the bank of a muddy brown river. A man sitting in a boat, like a large canoe, called out to them. Good afternoon and welcome to the Rainforest Experience. My name is Augustine and I'll be your tour guide today. You are our first visitors. What brings you here? Hello, Augustine. I'm Alfredo and this is my grandson Marco. Alfredo said. We've heard that the rainforest is being destroyed at a great rate. We want to see for ourselves what's really happening. Let me take you to my home, Pangayuku. What do you see there? May I help answer your questions, the man replied. Where exactly are we, Augustine? Alfredo asked. Marco shook his head, still wondering if he was dreaming. You're in the Ecuadorian Amazon, Augustine replied. This river is the Rio Pangayuco. Somewhere many kilometers from here, it flows into the Amazon. Okay? In some places, the river was wide, in others, narrow. The banks were covered in lush vegetation. Birds flew in and out of the branches. Now and again, Marco saw monkeys. What an amazing place, he said. It's just like a program I saw on television. Augustine turned to Marco. We want people to see the rainforest close up, while helping to protect it at the same time. That's why we're looking to establish ecotourism here. How far have you got with your ecotourism plan? Asked Alfredo. We've been planning for a year now, Augustine replied. It's hard to get everyone to agree, but we keep working on it. How can we not when Ecuador is losing so much rainforest every year? I'm not sure I understand what an ecotourism plan is, Marco said. Many people now live in this area, said Augustine. People are clearing land to sell the trees. They're also clearing the land so that they can plant many crops. But if people are unable to make a living in these ways, they have to have something else to help them survive. We thought that many people from your country might like to come and see the rainforest. They might like to stay in our village and share our way of life for a short time. That's our eco-tourism plan. Augustin paddled the boat gently along the river until they came to another jetty. He edged the boat alongside and tied it up with a rope. "This is my home," Augustin said, as he led them through the village. "These huts look brand new," said Alfredo. "Yes," said Augustin proudly. "These are the huts for the tourists to stay in. They're exactly the same as the ones that we live in." "They're very good," Alfredo said to the smiling villagers who gathered around. "What sort of things will the eco-tourists do?" and Marco asked. "We'll show them the way we live, farm, hunt and fish," Augustin replied. "There'll be a job for everyone who lives here." "How does bringing new visitors to the area help to protect the rainforest?" asked Marco. "The money that the tourists spend on their accommodation and everything else that's part of the rainforest experience will be split amongst the people in the village," replied Augustin. "We'll have an income from the rainforest without having to destroy it. It's exciting. The whole village will benefit." "I see," Marco said, nodding again. "What you're doing is protecting the environment and making a living at the same time." As Marco was speaking, he noticed a group of men and women standing near one of the huts. They were scowling and pointing at Marco and Alfredo. "Look, Grandpa," he said. "Those people don't look very pleased to see us." Augustin looked embarrassed and said, "Sometimes tourists pass through here. They come with guides from the outside who don't understand our way of life." He nodded towards the unhappy group. "When we had a village meeting, one group argued against ecotourism. They said they were sick of being stared at and photographed. They're worried that tourists will bring problems with them. They want to be left alone. They would rather clear the land and live by farming." "So you really aren't sure if ecotourism will be good for your village or not?" asked Marco. "No," replied Augustin, "and I'd really like to know what you think. Do you think ecotourism is a good thing for us or not?" "Is ecotourism a good thing or not?" Marco wondered. As he thought about Augustin's question, he gazed at the brown water of the Rio Pancayou. He watched some bright parrots land in a tree on the opposite bank. He listened to the many sounds of the rainforest. The sounds seemed to be getting fainter. The greens of the trees and vines began to fade into dusty shades of grey. The brown river suddenly looked more like the wooden floor of the attic. "Is ecotourism a good thing, yes or no?" Grandpa Alfredo was saying. "What do you think, Marco?" "We need to click one of these buttons." "I think that with guides like Augustin, people will learn to understand the rainforest and its people. Let's choose the yes button that says ecotourism is a good thing." Okay, and that's our story. Okay, so do you think ecotourism is a good thing? So they had a lot of positives there, but there was a lot of negatives as well. So what's a positive of ecotourism? So it provides a livelihood for the village people. So the villagers get money from people coming and appreciating their way of life. And what's a negative then of ecotourism? So maybe if tourists come and they don't respect their way of life, they may cause a lot of problems. So maybe if they're littering or if they're being very mean to the people, that wouldn't be great, would it? So that's a negative. So there's two sides to it. There's always a positive and negative side. So maybe we'll discuss that when we come back and we'll just see what kind of ecotourism could we have in Ireland. So where could we go in Ireland that could provide this kind of thing? Okay, so our questions then. So what is Marco's grandfather's name? Okay, so full sentences here. So Marco's grandfather is called, in what country is Pangyuku? So what country? So what countries? So Pangyuku is in whatever. Where is the computer kept? So where is the computer kept? The computer is kept in, okay. Why were some people in Pangyuku opposed to ecotourism? So some people in Pangyuku were opposed to ecotourism because, okay, name 2 creatures that Marco saw in the rainforest. So 2 creatures. So Marco saw whatever. So he's going into your copy. And then here, what I want you to do is, I've been explaining these words, I want you to go away and look them up, okay? So you're online anyway, so if you go into Google and just type in these words, the dictionary definition will come up, it'll be the first thing that comes up. So if you type in establish, okay, it'll come up exactly what establish means. Benefit, embarrassment, accommodation, right? So it's kind of like looking up in a dictionary, but it's a little bit different. So I want you to get used to looking up words, right? Because when you go on to secondary school in the next few years, you'll need to be able to do this yourselves, right? So I want you to look up the words and try find which one is the most accurate. And if you don't know these words as well, look them up as well. That's okay. Just as long as you try your best, right? And I want you to write the full sentence into the into your copies. So I want you to say, for example, if it's 1, so preserving the rainforest might be good for the village. Okay, so what word there means the closest to preserving? So developing, are they building upon it? Are they conserving, so being careful with it? Are they exploring, so like going through it and finding new things? Or are they demolishing, so breaking it down? So what are they doing? What's the closest thing to preserving? Conserving, isn't it? So conserving the rainforest might be good for the village. So that's what I want you to write. I want you to swap out the word. So it's conserving the rainforest might be good for the village. So you have 6 sentences to do for that. Okay, and then choose the most suitable word for each sentence. Okay, so the politician had a good something for getting elected. Okay, so benefit, accommodation, strategy, supporter. So what would fit the best there? The politician had a good benefit, the politician had a good accommodation, the politician had a good strategy, or the politician had a good supporter. So what's the best one there? Benefit, accommodation, strategy, supporter. So what's the best one? So I would say strategy is the best one, alright? So the politician had a good strategy for getting elected. So I want you to write that into your copy as well. Right? So 6 sentences there as well. Right? So all you have is 18 sentences. Very easy. Alright? So that's all you have for English. If you have any problems, contact me and make sure you read through the text as well. Because I'll be watching and seeing who has looked into the text and who has viewed it and who hasn't. Alright? If I see you haven't viewed the text, I'm not going to mark your, I'm not going to give you points for your exercises. Right? Okay? So good luck with that. If you have any problems, contact me in class.